A fascinating conversation and quite a bit of your feedback. But before we get into that, we did go around the country just asking, whether you have participated in any tendering process, and we'll be getting to that in a moment. Just wanting to, go on the ground and hear what your experiences are. I believe we have them. Let's listen to, I think, two of them, or let's listen to. Can we listen to both of them at the same time? Great. Let's listen to that, and then we can come back and respond to that.
I've done some jobs with the county government, Department of Roads specifically. Regarding my responsibilities with the county government, there have been a lot of delays, yes, in terms of payment. Initially, before we formed the Baringo Contractors Association, we could complain to the control of budget and also the procurement department on the payment processes. But thereafter, this time around, we've known we can complain to Office of Administrative Justice, that is in Eldoret.
Most of the projects which I do, there's some delay in payment. When you submit, when your voucher is submitted to Treasury, it takes quite some time. For now, as an association, we are trying to push up with the Public Procurement Oversight Authority, because these are bodies, they do oversight in terms of procurement and also in payment for contractors. What I can say about delay in payment, when the national government releases the funds to the counties, the best is for the county government to start processing immediately, so that contractors get value for their. So
money is the complaint that you hear, including on social media, in terms of getting paid once the job is done, the goods are delivered or services rendered, and there's quite a bit of that feedback. Please use the hashtag Business Now. That's how I'm tracking it. Harrison Karuri says, getting is one thing, payment is another. System automation is the main solution to deal with such problems and corruption. Okay. This Twitter handle is Chapo Pasua. Okay. I hope that's not the name of your company, or maybe it is. Let me not hate. You say, Yvonne, I have a company registered business name, AGPO, TCC profile to carry out tender business, but I've knocked government doors here and there in Nairobi without anything tangible to smile about after pre-qualification. And there's just so much more of that feedback that is going on. Senator AGPO, what does it take to get that certification? Just, as a start of, who are you looking for? What sort of business do I have to have run? Does it have to have been in operation, 2-3 years? What does it take to get the certificate?
I think initially it was very simple. Yeah. And at that time, and I'm sure Marvin remembers, you'd just walk to Treasury and you explain who you are, you're told what to get, whatever documentation, and it was a very simple process. And those are a huge number of people. Because I think there was that momentum when we were starting. I was just saying during the break that I think as a country, if we really want a proper, because we have big campaigns on many other unnecessary things. If you had a serious campaign and you think about the transformative possibilities of this, and I was giving the example of Nairobi. In Nairobi, as governor, you'd have a budget of 40 billion. Let's even go down and say what would be a procurement budget would come to maybe 20. Give 8 billion, yeah? We have 85 wards. In each ward in Nairobi, the young people and women would have 100 million shillings annually. That transforms all of these economic models we're hearing people talking about, So it should be simplified. You should be able to go get AGPO at your Huduma Center, wherever you're in the country. You should get it digitally, because not everybody can come to Nairobi, not everybody can go to the county headquarters. And I'm glad those who have spoken now, you've seen many of them are working with the counties. That is where the focus, and a huge part of the focus should be, because these people are in the counties, We can say, okay, in Kawangware, the garbage collection and whatnot here, which are huge contracts given to a few people, will be given to these young people from Kawangware. You go to Dandora and say the young people here are going to do this project of water.
But that's not something that can be legislated, though. And it's not something you can put in the law.
What is in the law already is enough. Yeah. You just need goodwill. No. You need to have governors with that goodwill. That's why I started with goodwill. You need ministers who ask their PSs, how many of these contracts have gone to women and youth? And those women and youth are not related to you, you know? And this is for disadvantaged. Even I've been a youth until recently. I turned,
when you left that bracket.
I left that bracket. But despite being the person who came up with AGPO, I never went for an AGPO certificate for any of my businesses because I didn't consider myself disadvantaged. I never had an AGPO certification as a youth. It's supposed to be those who are disadvantaged, and they should have those opportunities. Let them not be crowded out by those who have, you know, the ability to have such opportunities. You know, so I think there's no more important campaign than what we will do with the same money we use in our budget. Crime rate will go down. Look at what Kazi Mtani has done. It's not AGPO, but it's related. It shows you that when young people are engaged and they're doing activities, and Marvin was telling us how, you know, when you give an SME an opportunity, they get somebody from that area. Crime rate in Kibera went down by 47%. Yeah, when that was happening, in many parts of Nairobi, it went down by 60%. But look what's been happening in the last 3 weeks when they've not been getting payment. Crime is back. Young people I know have been gunned down across the country. You know, so I think we can't overemphasize the social impact of giving young people and women opportunities to engage and to have, you know, an economic opportunity.
And that's indeed, Marvin, what you were saying during the break. I wonder if you can say that now
in your words.
For our viewers. In your words, exactly what you were talking about, the value and the benefit of, you know, SMEs and of young people, women, persons with disability getting these tenders and getting, you know, good government contracts.
So preferential procurement is emerging almost globally as a key element of socioeconomic impact to communities. So enough countries are deploying this, and one of the countries that did this was Brazil, which is where I think one of the few studies has been done on the impact of preferential procurement to communities. And they said if you give an SME one contract per quarter, not only do they grow for 2 years, but then also 93% of their new hires come from people who are either unemployed, those outside the labor force, those who are underemployed, or those in the informal sector. That's immediately. And then not only do they grow for 2 years, they are also, they apply for 30% more tenders the next time they find an opportunity. So just that simple act of ensuring that, you can imagine if each SME here wins one contract, it means the next time they're applying for more, not just government, but also private sector. But then what does it do for them as well? It ensures that they are better equipped, that they are learning, that they are now able to apply for more. And then also on the flip side, not flip side, but then when you look at it from a government point of view, it has been established as well that if you give SMEs tenders, what you get as government is value for money, because you're not looking at the large companies that charge you for personnel, 50-person personnel. You're looking at a lean team that can deliver the same work, and they give you value for money, so for cheaper. So that's what you get almost immediately. Secondly, you get innovation, because these are the innovative companies. The young ones, they're always innovating. So you have better innovation also within government. So the impact is on both sides of the equation. And the thing is, how do we open up these roads so that these two entities are able to engage properly?
Is that why you started Scale?
That's why we started Scale. Because after going through the 3 years of this just cumbersome process, we said, why don't we build a platform that takes you to 80% immediately? So as soon as you sign up, every other document that you will be required to submit from government, we tell you. If you're in marketing, we tell you, where's your MSK? Where's your PRSK? So that we just tell you, okay, you have these membership bodies. Not only do you have your mandatory documents, you have also all these other good-to-have documents, like from membership organizations. I didn't know there are like 3 membership organizations for watchmen, but then they are there.
I know, I'm their patron.
It's a patron.
The private security workers.
Yes.
Then there's one for the private. Anyway.
But they ask you for those documents in a tender.
Right.
If you're doing a security tender. So those are these important documents, and we've listed all of them. Tell you where can you get them, how much can you get them for, what's the time period required for you to get them. Our job is to ensure that you are 80% ready for any opportunity before even, so that anything comes, you're saying, okay, it's going to take me 10 minutes to respond to this. Yeah. It's going to take me 20 to respond to that, or 30 to respond to that. But then also critically, what we are doing is we are interfacing with banks to ensure that you can get your bid bonds within the platform as well. And also, which solves another critical problem in terms of SME financing down the line, because banks also are saying, when you talk to them, they're telling you, all SMEs who come through here, they give you fake contracts.
Yeah.
And so to what extent can we ensure that also validate the contracts and to ensure that we increase also the number of banks or financial institutions taking a chance on SMEs. So
sort of a central repository where everybody can come in, see what needs to be done, get themselves ready, you know, at least like you say, 80% for that. Yes. Thanks, Marvin. I will take that as your last word. Pauline, you get the final word in just a minute or two. The complaints are there. Lack of information. When they do get the tender, they're not getting paid. They believe you have to know somebody. There are not enough success stories. What's your final word to the tendering and procurement process in this country? How do we move forward and make it more trustworthy, more reliable, and, you know, more efficient?
Going forward, I believe we can do better. There is something going on in the public procurement setup. The work on the e-procurement platform, which was promised by the CS in his budget speech. And that one will solve a few of our problems. Yeah? In terms of having to know somebody. No, because once the procurement is being processed on that platform, in fact, majority of the evaluation will be done in the system, and so you don't have to know somebody to give you high marks or to put pass or fail where you are supposed to pass. Yeah, and secondly, regarding the SMEs. In terms of these requirements which do not favor them, I would appeal for some reconsideration of what is in the law. Maybe something should be put there to make sure entities are guided. For example, when it comes to experience, yeah, for the SMEs, we should not be asking for so much experience, because the startups which have only 1 year, we cannot be asking for 3 years. We try to sensitize people, but because they are not legally bound, you sensitize them, yes, but they end up doing the opposite of what you tell them. Right. Yeah. And
actually, with the AGPO certificate, you don't even need that qualification.
Right.
Yes.
But that's what people don't know. So I just want to ask you if we can organize forums, within Nairobi or wherever, and get these young people together and train them and tell them, you know, as PPRA, because before getting the complaints will come, but what proactively can we do? We, together with the AGPO Secretariat and PPRA, let's go out there, give that word, and then you give us a report. We will go hard on those procuring entities that are not giving young people contracts. Yes. Simple.
Yes. In fact, we are very ready
I can take you up on that for a few in Nairobi.
To work together, so long as we work together with the AGPO Secretariat, because if you come to PPRA and not AGPO Secretariat, there is always the politics.
We'll bring them all together.
Okay, good. I think that's a good place to leave the show, because we seem to have found at least some solution, and hopefully I'm glad that you've said it on national television, and we'll be keeping tabs. At least I will make sure I keep tabs.
Will you attend? You need to attend some of those.
Because I want to know. I mean, it's information for me as well to learn about how the process is done. We'll be there, and we'll be happy to cover that and show Kenyans that this is what is happening. So I want to thank you all for coming on the show today. There is just so much we can talk about on this. Thanks for your time, Senator Johnson Sakaja, Marvin Tumbo, and Pauline Opio from the PPRA. Definitely a show we want to have more of. I've got so much feedback. I'm not sure I have the time to be able to read it all, but please do use the hashtag Business Now. You can find quite a bit of feedback on the conversation we've had. We are quite out of time, and because we want to take you back to the IEBC selection panel interviews that are currently ongoing. Those go up until the 22nd of July, and so I want to bring those to you live. And that's where we finish up Business Now here. Thank you, as always. Such a pleasure having you. We'll see you again next week, Monday. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much.